Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. Okay folks, the day has finally come where I share my paper pumpkin alternatives. Inside the box there was this advertisement about the next 2 paper pumpkins, and they are a matching set, one with tags and one with cards. So if you are at all interested in the paper pumpkin system, I would definitely pick up those 2 because you can always use an extra Christmas card. All right, so I'm going through the paper pumpkin box called Bon Appetit. It came with the gorgeous grape ink spot and a little stamp set, and all these really cutesy boxes and lots of die cuts and fun things to create with. These are the 2 boxes that you can make. One is polka dotty and one is stripy. And then all the little doodads to decorate them. But you know that I don't ever just do what the box tells me to do. I'm a rebel, and obviously since you're watching, so are you. So let's have a little rebellion and create some alternatives for this Halloween themed paper pumpkin box. For card design number 1, I have taken the 2 boxes and of course I have to rip them apart. I usually do this with envelopes too. All right, I'm bringing out my old trimmer. My new trimmer is on its way to me. Of course, I live in Canada, so it does take a minute or 2 for products to be sent to me. I'm super excited about the trimmer. If you don't know about the trimmer, email me and I'll tell you all about it. So I think that these pieces I'm cutting from the box are about 1.5 inches, I believe. I'm making little inchies. So this was the tissue paper that came in the kit, and it's black. So I figured, what happens if somebody actually doesn't have black cardstock, because that's what I wanted to put on my card. So here I've often told you to pick up Whisper White thick for the card base, because that's usually what I use to create my cards, especially with paper pumpkin. So that is one additional item that you may require. So you can see what I did there. I put some wet glue down and on my Whisper White thick cardstock, and now I've applied that tissue paper to make your cardstock black. But it's kind of black with wrinkles, and I kind of wanted that. So I'm cutting off the excess, and you can see that when the card does a bowing like that, it means it's a little wet. So you have to wait till it dries. All right, so now I have my little inchy squares that I cut out of the boxes, and well, they're 1.5 inches, I should say. And I'm just trying to create a design. So I put one going one way, and then I'll fill in the gaps afterwards. And you can see now my third one, I'm going to start over there and then add my dotted one. Of course, they come with black dimensionals. Did you know that that is what is in our repertoire right now? Stampin' Up has black dimensionals, and they actually work really well. So you don't see the dimensional adhesive when you're working with black card. All right, so I'm trimming off the end, and then I'll add another little square here and trim that off. And that is my card design, the background anyway. And then I have a little bit of just an extra little piece of paper here, and I'm putting wet glue on it, and then I'm sort of daubing my fingers in the glue and pressing that. It's like a bone spider web, a bony web, if you will. And I put the piece, a circular vellum behind it. And now I just have my gorgeous grape ink pad out, and I'm using that teeny tiny Happy Halloween that is kind of that orangey metallic sentiment piece. And that is my first card. Card number 2 has me using the bony web again, and this time I have dotted some Tombow glue, which is the green glue, on the back of the bony web, and then I let it to dry because it is repositionable once it's dry. So I waited probably a good 10 minutes. Then I put it to my project, and I am using a new brush. I know that everyone's going to ask me about it, so I'm just going to tell you, if you go to Amazon and you search out toothbrush handle makeup brushes, you'll come to realize where I got my brush from. So they're very affordable. The cheaper you can get them, the better. And they do sponging beautifully. Now, if you don't want to spend money on a makeup brush that you use for crafting, a piece of sponge would be fine. I just happen to, this is like really accurate sponging or inking, I should say. So, and you can see I'm using my take your pick tool and the spatula end just to pull up that bony web. Now we're going to be calling it a bony web for a while now, right? You see? All right. So, and that's what I kept on doing with this card design. I'm using the bony web as a mask, and in a circular motion, I'm creating a design actually with my toothbrush makeup handle holder here. Toothbrush handle makeup brush. There you go. Google it. It's on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it in other places as well. This was affordable. I'm keeping on sponging, and I don't care if I go over the score line. I'm one of those folks that it doesn't bother me if I'm over the score line at all. As a matter of fact, I used to sort of decorate the very back of my cards often. So, all right, we're coming to the last little bit. Here it is. So don't throw out that bony web. I just put it off to the side. And now I have taken one of the tags from the kit, and I have applied, cut off the top part, and then I'm adhering it as to the top left corner. And this is where my bony web is going to go. And it will be repositionable, but that person who receives this card won't know that. So it'll be stuck there until the end of time, really. I'm using my gorgeous grape ink pad and that teeny tiny Happy Halloween sentiment. And there is a very soft purpley Halloween card for you. Okay, card number 3. So here I have a Whisper White thick card base again, And I just showed you where I got those little pieces. They were from the boxes, and they were just inside the handles. When you go to put the box together, you are left with all these little extra bits. So I ended up starting to put it on a card base, and I did get finished applying them to the card base. But then I think I applied them crookedly, and I did not like that look. When you are making simple cards, if you make one little mistake, it really shows. So what I ended up doing is I trimmed off I trimmed it down, but you'll see that in a second. So here I am finishing up, and you can see, I don't know what was going on. Something was off for me. It might have only been just like a little millimeter, but I can tell with my, eyes, and it drove me nuts. So here I am with my old trimmer, new one's on the way, as I said, and I'm going to trim off the offending line. And then now I'm going to make a little banner. So happy accidents, right? And then I'm putting, I think I put this on dimensionals. I popped it up. And, oh, maybe I didn't. I did not, I guess. I did not put them on dimensionals. But here is my little skeleton dude. And I have put a second one. I felt that my first skeleton dude was too flimsy. So I'm doubling him up so that he's more of a chipboard piece. And now I have added dimensionals to the back of this dude. That's right. And I'm applying him to where I think he looks good. And then I shall trim off the excess of my banner and come in with that little Happy Halloween sentiment. The thing was that there wasn't that many Happy Halloween sentiments, so I kind of was stuck with this little guy. But I kind of like it. I dig it. All right, card number 4 has me close in. I did these guys really close so that you can see. It is a skull with crossbones. So when you put it in purple, it doesn't look so piratey. Anyway, so I'm generational stamping here. And what generational stamping means is that it's full strength and second strength and third strength are stamped off, really, so that you get a lighter and a lighter impression. This is a really good example of generational stamping. And you can kind of see the pattern that I'm going for. I want it to be random. One of the little things to note, if you stamp off on your page, you will most likely get a weird line. So make sure that you're always stamping fully on your project or re-inking and stamping off and then stamping on your project. All right, so here is some 2 tags that came in the kit, and I tried to cut them as straight as possible, and I have created a little square. So here's a little bit of an extra here. I just put adhesive on the back to stick them together. So it is a little square. You're not going to see the seam. And then I can place my bony web, and here I've given up on being sticky with this project because I was covered in glued head to toe afterwards. But here is my bony web and my vellum that was on crooked, obviously. and I was able to pull it up and put it away. And now I'll just put a little bit more of the Tombow glue, just kind of dotting it to where you may not see it. The thing with vellum is that it shows adhesive through because it becomes darker in that area, but I don't think anybody will care. So yeah, there was a little bit of darkness going on. You can see a little bit of the adhesive, but oh well. And then I pop this up on dimensionals, and these are just normal white ones because it's a white card. But if all you have is what you have in the kit, then by all means use the black ones because they work exactly the same. And I'm going to put that little piece right there, and with that little Happy Halloween sentiment, and I'll just pop that right there. And I do believe that I brought in some embellishments. It needed a little pop. So these are our rhinestones, and I am coloring them with a blends marker. If you don't have blends markers, you can use a Sharpie marker, does the same thing. And if you don't have any of that, that's fine because the clear ones go with everything. They're just like diamonds. Diamonds go with everything. The last and final card. Here I use the vellum negative piece, and I'm using my Stamparatus door, but just any non-porous surface. Sometimes I just didn't want to tape everything to my desk. I wanted to be able to move it around. So I'm taping down the vellum. And I'm also de-stickifying it, neutralizing the stickiness on my skin. And that is a tape that I get from, it's like painter's tape called frog tape. I get it from Rona. And here is my gorgeous grape and an extra piece of paper. And you can see I'm kind of trying to season my toothbrush handled makeup brush. And what I'm going to do is start in this corner, and I'm going to try to get that as dark as I can. And then I will move up on top of all of the other little circles. When you come across a big circle, like a die cut like this, I can't pass it up because these are amazing for backgrounds. And if Stampin' Up would carry more masks, we don't have very many. I think we might have like 2 packs of masks. I wish that one of them would be big circles like this because these are so fun. So if you can, save this mask or save this extra piece from your kit, and you might be able to use it again in another card design. One thing that I notice with my toothbrush handled makeup brush is it sponges so well, it inks the page so flawlessly and sharply around the edges. And I find that when I use my sponges on something like this, I don't get as fine of a edge. So I'm just putting that all aside. And look at that, my work surface is nice and clean for me to continue to work on. So I'm going to double up on my skeleton here again because I felt the first one was too flimsy and the second one makes it just perfect. And there was a lot of skeletons, like that, it's almost too much. All right, so here I have my little skeleton and I have my black tag from the kit. And I put it on backwards just because I didn't want any of the adhesive sticking down, because this one I am going to pop up, and I used white for that. And now I adhere that to the side. All the cards that I have done kind of are leaning towards this style of having just a little something, like a neat background, and then having just a little action in a little corner somewhere. All right, so I used that orange metallic label, and then I put 3 dimensionals on it, and I also put glue on his hands so that he looks like he is holding the Happy Halloween sentiment. Here I am with my pumpkin pie coloring that little trick of the rhinestones. You can also use an orange Sharpie or leave them plain, because plain is good too. And I've added a couple around my little skeleton doing the jig. And those are my alternatives for this month, September 2019. Subscribe with me to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. I cannot encourage you more to do that. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.